deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Meteorologist Evan Thomason. I'll be with you in just a moment, but right now, live look out onto our Window World Skycam here in Texarkana. Beautiful look. Guess what? We have sunshine back in the Arklatex. What a crazy thing. We've been hanging around with some gloomy skies throughout the entire first half of the week from Monday all the way through yesterday. And finally, we have sunshine back in the Arklatex with dry conditions here in the region. So, yeah, it's finally looking to be a good day here for the day today. Although I will say this is very deceiving because we do have, unfortunately, some colder temperatures around here for the Arklatex. Now, I also, just so you know, I'm speaking a little slowly because I'm actually multitasking here. But, yeah, we're hanging on with some colder temperatures here throughout the Arklatex. Some of you woke up to temperatures, feels like temperatures, that is, in the teens and 20s this morning. So, what a wild time what a wild time, essentially, here in our region. All right, so, everything looks good to me. Bam. We are now live on Facebook as well. Welcome on. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. I am just hanging out on the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Welcome on to the Weather Podcast here for your Thursday. Yes, we are streaming this now to Facebook as well. I just set that up. I am going to be honest, I'm a little late because I got crammed with some things that happened right before this podcast. But I'm here. We're all here now. I believe Facebook, YouTube, everybody's here. Everybody's one happy family. We decided to include our Facebook friends here today, mainly because we have a First Alert Weather Breakdown. Obviously, we do, Evan. We have a First Alert Weather Day happening on Saturday. Severe storms are creeping into the Arklatex, and just so you know, anytime we usually give out a First Alert Weather Day beyond just even a single day notice, that usually means we have a good chance. We have a good, solid chance of getting severe storms with this system moving into the first half of your weekend. I know I keep looking off to the side, but I really want to make sure my streams are up and working. Facebook is looking good. I need to make sure YouTube's working as well. I know the stream on KSLA.com is going along strong. Looks like YouTube's doing fine. Double checking that now. Yes, it is. My YouTube wanted to glitch out there for a second. But I think we're good. I think we got everything. We got our post out. I'm literally double checking all my things. Yep. Double checking my list. I'm Santa. Double checking it twice. All right. So now I got my graphics out. But before we go over into graphics, let's go into what we're talking about here. Because we have a loaded show. We're not just talking about the First Alert local forecast here. We'll also have exclusive content here for the day today. We're talking a sunny forecast, at least for today alone. We're going to go into so much detail on the First Alert weather day that's expected here for your upcoming Saturday. On top of that, I also snuck in an interview with meteorologist Jake Lambright. Not as long as your typical recorded things, but definitely a good interview with Jake, who was able to come on. And even though he works outside of the Arklatex, he has roots from Marshall, Texas. Anybody from Marshall, Texas? Give a shout out on any of our chats here on Facebook or on YouTube as well. I'll tell Jake that you shouted him out. Overall, we'll have that interview for him later. He can introduce himself better later on in this First Alert Weather Breakdown. So welcome on. This is our weather podcast. Essentially, we just go into the weather forecast so much more in depth than just your typical news show. We have all the time, all right? I am not limited by commercial breaks. I'm not limited by news wanting to talk as well. So the point is, we have plenty of time to talk on the forecast, so we have time to answer some of the questions that you have, maybe coming into this First Alert Weather Breakdown as well. So yeah, let's get straight into the forecast here. Overall, we'll do this the same lingo we always normally do forecasts. We'll go over the forecast in and of itself. I'll take a commercial break. Then we'll go over the exclusive content for the day, and then we'll go over questions. We'll fish over questions. Actually, I'm going to fish over questions after the forecast immediately. Then I'm going to go into the exclusive content, and then if we have any remaining questions after the interview, which I did and recorded, then I will answer those also afterward too. So overall, questions, you can ask them in the chat. Feel free to. I'd love you for you to. It'd be great. So I'm just, not just talking to myself in a corner. But if not, just sit back and relax. And yeah, I will answer all your questions after going over this forecast. Again, a beautiful live look on our window woke sky camera and Texarkana again as I regain control of my graphic system slowly but surely here. Hope y'all having I hope y'all are enjoying the beautiful sunshine around here for today, despite it being deceiving. I'm personally just glad to see some sunshine. I'm glad to see that it's calm. Glad it's calm. It's tranquil, so to speak. But you could say it's calm before the storm again, before our first alert weather day. In just a matter of 2 days on Saturday. Some of the rain could even happen or occur on Friday as well here for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. At least we don't have first alert weather day on Valentine's Day. Unless you and your lover really love storms, which me and mine do. But maybe not this much when it comes to severe storms. Just a good rainstorm, maybe. We'll see. We're going to go into the forecast. All right, I'm still getting control over my graphics here. There we go. All right. I'm going to talk control into the mic now. Matthews Landscape and Best Camera. This is our outlook onto our out into Independence Stadium. Kind of a nice look from our Matthews Landscape Best Camera. Kind of zoomed in a little bit there. In that area. Current conditions, a little more on the cloudy side of things, as you saw kind of there in Shreveport and Bossier. Got some cloud cover still lingering around Natchitoches as well. Some of that around center, but the northern half of the Arklatex, even Marshall in eastern Texas, hanging around with some sunshine here for now. But look at the temperatures. Widespread in the 30s. Still a good portion of the day now into 10:30 here. And we're still dealing with temperatures in the 30s, if not upper 20s, into Mount Pleasant currently. Some of the feels like temperatures are about 5 to 10 degrees, though, below this. That's because we have a good northerly breeze pushing into the region on top of everything else. Yes, it's cold, and it's a cold breeze coming on through into the Arklatex here for this morning. So you're waking up to 28 in Texarkana, 30 in Shreveport, 32 in Natchitoches. I've noticed temperatures finally warming up, I will say that, but it's been a slow warm-up, and we had temperatures, again, it feels like temperatures down into the teens and 20s earlier this morning, and it's only just started to warm up, so hang in there. It's certainly colder for tomorrow, or certainly colder for today compared to yesterday. Biggest headline I know for most of us definitely is sunshine. Yay. Can't wait to get out and enjoy it. On top of that, cold temperatures. Especially a big cool down in today. High temperatures this afternoon are certainly going to be colder than yesterday, and that seems contradictory, obviously, with the sun back out compared to the cloudy, gloomy skies that we actually had around yesterday. The biggest headline, again, beyond today that we're going to go so much more into depth to is we are our first alert weather day. That's right. We have severe storms coming back into the Arklatex with our next system. That's going to be widespread around the Arklatex here for your Saturday. You're going to want to stay weather aware on the first half of the weekend. Again, we have already decreed and declared Saturday as a KSLA News 12 First Alert Weather Day. Overall, here is what's happening. We had a nice cool down this morning, but we're starting to warm things up. Now, it's not really noticeable today at all, but it's going to be more noticeable here into your Thursday and Friday as we continue to get zonal flow and winds out of the south and west that will continue to warm us on up. But our upper level pattern shows a good-sized trough moving into the Arklatex. And anytime you see a trough all the way at the upper levels, that means our low-level moisture is being supported by a low-pressure system at the upper levels. That means we have a whole column of a whole column that can basically support severe storms and is going to be really intense because it's going to have a lot of moisture, lots of wind with it as well because it's going to be peaking right along the jet stream into the Arklatex here for your Saturday afternoon. Overall, the ingredients are there is what I'm trying to say here for the Arklatex. So Saturday, it's actually going to be the warmest day in the Arklatex over the next couple of days here. with high temperatures looking to peak up around 70 degrees. Yeah, it's going to be impressive before a rapid cool down happens afterward. And not only that, we have to deal with the storms along the actual cold front in and of itself, too, which is why we have a first alert weather day on that day. So, again, we have a system that's supported by our low levels and upper levels that helps create that whole column of moisture. Just adds more power to the system overall when you have those taller cloud decks and taller clouds overall, just in general, with a system like this pushing on through. Excuse me, heading into the first half of the weekend. So severe weather is likely. We're looking at the strong chance of strong winds and a good chance even at tornadoes to form during the day on Saturday. So again, you want to stay first aware, first alert with us throughout that day. Here's a look at how this plays out with the timing. For the rest of today, nice. Enjoy the sunshine. Make the most of it. Tomorrow, you're not nearly going to have as much. Now, keep in mind, our first alert weather day is Saturday, not Friday. Even then, I still could see a stray few showers creeping into our region here for Friday night. Now, notice most of it is light rain. So we're not expecting, again, any chances of severe weather here for Friday night. You might just run into a brief shower. And overall, this is kind of kick-starting our little line that begins to form Saturday morning, if you notice, here on our future track. And then once we get into Saturday early afternoon, that's when you'll start to form a line that gets a lot more severe and actually picks up its power, essentially, especially once it gets its momentum moving. And this will happen around 4 p.m. I wouldn't play around with exact timing-wise on Saturday. I just keep vague in mind. In Shreveport, Northwest Louisiana for Saturday afternoon. Looks like it's going to affect East Texas and Texarkana around more towards lunchtime in the early afternoon hours before moving into around Natchitoches in the evening hours, and then finally leaving the Arklatex, leaving us for a beautiful Sunday. So that's the timing of how everything works. Let's look at the details for everything around the severe risk. Again, we're watching out for the possibility of tornadoes and strong winds. Not as likely to have hail, not as likely to have flash flooding. Heavy rain in of itself is definitely likely with the system. But again, because the system's actively moving, unlike this last system that came on through, I shouldn't see the puddles that we saw on the roadways with the flash flooding that we had from this last system on Tuesday and Wednesday. So that will at least be one thing we don't have to worry about here for the first half of the weekend. Here's how that severe risk looks on our Storm Prediction Center. This is our biggest outlook and kind of an overall rule of thumb of which areas are expecting greater chances of severe weather compared to others. And overall, again, the majority of the Arklatex does have a solid chance of getting on this severe weather. I will say the only areas that look like they don't are maybe McCurtain County, a little corner of northeast Texas, and maybe areas north of Texarkana up into the Queen. If you notice, really for me, the rule of thumb for me is anytime you have a slight risk of severe weather, that means we have a good chance to get strong winds, a good solid chance to get strong winds, and even a little chance of a tornado or two forming anywhere in that yellow. Green, it's kind of rare, but it could happen. Orange, it's more likely to happen in that area. So Shreveport and Texarkana are both under the yellow shade, although I will say, notice how Shreveport and areas maybe around Magnolia and those along the Louisiana-Texas line are a little closer to that shade of orange. I'd still be, regardless, anywhere around the yellow, I'd still be first alert and first aware here with us heading into that day. Overall, just keep yourself weather again throughout the day on Saturday overall. But the greatest chances of severe weather, yes, last eastward, out towards Natchitoches and out towards Ruston with this system. So, yeah, that's going to be mainly happening again Saturday night here for the most part and Saturday afternoon. All right, highs today. I was going to say cooking, but opposite of cooking, cooling down into the upper 40s. It's not just for the northern half of the Arklatex. It's pretty much for everybody. East Texas, also most of northwest Louisiana, looking to stay cold here throughout the day today. Lows tomorrow. Cold, but I will say not nearly as cold as this morning. Lows this morning were down into the 20s and 30s, yes, but we had a wind chill this morning. Tomorrow, wind chill is looking not as likely as the wind should hopefully be a little more on the calmer side of things here for your Friday morning to end off the work week. Speaking of tomorrow, it is Valentine's Day here for tomorrow. This is a forecast here for you throughout the day, mainly in the early afternoon hours to late night hours. Watch out in the late night hours. If you look real closely at that icon, that does feature, again, that little slim chance of light rain showers, pretty much starting around dinner time and carrying us into the late night hours of your Friday. I think the bulk of the Friday should be good, especially on the way to and from work. Just watch out for the stray rain showers coming home, going out to dinner, and maybe for your late night festivities. Again, our first solar weather day does not start until Saturday. This is not going to be an issue for Friday at all. Watch what it does to our temperatures. This is one thing we really haven't discussed. I know we've discussed everything about the severe risk around, but the temperatures themselves go from 70 down to 47 for a high on Sunday. It's a over 20-degree temperature drop. The morning lows on Sunday morning look to be way cold as well after a high of 70 on Saturday. So be prepared for a rapid cool down. 33 is that low on Sunday, by the way, for your 7-day forecast. Quite impressive. And overall, our temperatures continue to remain on a roller coaster over the next 7 days. As we get back up to 59 for Tuesday before getting back down to 45 on Wednesday. We have another system bringing us scattered showers for the middle of next week. And there's even some models creeping in. Yes, the smallest chance of winter precipitation somewhere on Tuesday and Wednesday, mainly just for the northern edge of the Arklatex. Now, I know all those rain cons show rain because, quite frankly, I'm expecting pretty much all of us to have rain. Maybe the majority of us. The point is, the majority, if not all of us, will probably receive rain from the middle of next week. So I just wanted to throw that S word out there just in case it does happen, because I have seen it before on a few of those future tracks, but at this point it's not likely. It's doubtful. That's probably the best word to describe it, actually. So again, enjoy the day of sunshine here today, but make sure you are weather aware. Again, with us on our first alert weather day here upcoming for Saturday. Whew. Oh man. So yeah, it was a lengthy forecast, but that's the end of our forecast. I'm going to go on to some of our comments just in case. Nelda says hello out there from Facebook. Hello, Nelda. Hope you're having a great day today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Nothing else on Facebook and nothing else on YouTube here for the time being. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it to a break. We have our interview with Jake Lambright, meteorologist who works outside of the Arklatex, but has roots and was born and raised here locally in the Arklatex. You'll hear more from him after this commercial break coming on up. Also, one quick disclaimer before I toss the break and toss it to that. We had trouble getting our recording to work for this. So if I seem a little frustrated at the beginning of this, that's why. But anyways, we got it to work out, and you'll see our little interview after this. Hey, real quick before we go on to our interview, I saw some comments on Facebook. Tangular says hello, and is it cold out there in Shreveport? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And Carolyn asked, will it be raining Saturday at 2:30? I'm assuming that's what that means in Texarkana, and the answer to that is most likely yes as well. If you have any more questions, I'll answer those after this interview. I promise. All right. For now, sit back, relax, and enjoy my talk with Jake Lambright, meteorologist over in Alexandria, Louisiana. Come on, teams. All right. Hey, it's working. What is this, like 4 times the charm? Anyways, I'm here with Jake Lambright, meteorologist from KLB station down in Alexandria, Louisiana. Well, first of all, how are you doing? I'm doing fantastic, man. Well, I must say, this first of all, again, it's great to have the recording working. Just so you know, behind the scenes, I can go ahead and reveal this to you. This is literally 4 times charged. Anyways, point is, it took many times. We're finally here. We're finally doing this. All right. Anyways, having a great day today. First, a question foremost, at least for me, you were one of the meteorologists that got to play around in the snow a couple weeks ago. How was that? Because essentially, for us in the Arklatex, we got barely any in Natchitoches, and that was it. We sent one meteorologist down there to have some fun with an inch of snow, and nobody else saw anything. So, how was that big winter storm that hit most of Louisiana?
A little different from most people. I'm not the biggest fan of the snow, but I've got to say, what we got was perfect. In Alexandria, we got about 2 to 3 inches of snow, and it was all gone by that night. No ice on the roads or anything. I was able to go home. So it was a great sight to see during the day, but I'm glad I didn't stick around for a long time. But for some context, the snow that I saw before what I saw last month was back in 2021 when there was that big snow event in the Arklatex that snowed us in for a week. And after that, I decided I don't want to see snow again for 10 years. So very
How
glad this
long?
time it
How
was
long
kind of
ago?
a 1 day.
Oh, how long ago was that event again?
It was back in 2021.
Ah, so definitely not 10 years.
Yes.
Well,
But like I
I
said, it
guess
was perfect, just 1 day and it was gone. So couldn't ask for a better snow event, in my opinion.
okay, that's good. That kind of followed up my next question was like how much did it affect just your general area, your commutes, I guess your livelihood around Alexandria with you and the your viewers.
It had some varying impacts across our viewing area. I know we share Sabina Natchitoches with y'all. So like you're saying, the Natchitoches Parish, there was a little bit of snow, but not a ton. We kind of got the Goldilocks totals in Alexandria about 2 to 3 inches, but in our southern parishes, some of them saw 6 to 8 inches and even a little bit more than that. So they were snowed in for a good day or two before that started to melt. So the impacts definitely varied over a pretty short distance. And even just outside of our viewing area, Lafayette had issues with pipes. Their temperatures got down, I think, to 3 or 4 degrees that night. It was pretty chilly there. So overall, in town, we got pretty lucky. But like I said, our southern parishes definitely saw some higher impacts.
I remember seeing that. Just especially exponentially seeing the snow totals rise. Also, I did my first alert traffic here in the morning here locally, and just seeing the traffic alerts slowly but surely increasing the farther south you went on I-49. I literally kept talking about the drive from Natchitoches to Alexandria, which you never really usually talk about, at least from my standpoint. You never really talk about I-49 having many issues traffic wise, especially from that drive from Natchitoches to Alexandria. But anyways, yeah, I'm glad first of all it didn't affect you too badly, especially since you said it was gone within most of a day because I think we had a pretty substantial warm up following afterward, right?
We did. We stayed below freezing for most of that day, but the snow didn't do a good job sticking to the roads and to the sidewalks, which definitely helped. And if you had blinded my vision where I couldn't see the grass on the roads, you could never tell it had snowed by the time we got to 9, 10 o'clock that night.
Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. Just out in the flash, you had your one snow day, and now you're done. That's really cool. Well, you mentioned some of your history as well. It comes from the Archotex back in Marshall, Texas. So
Hey, can you explain kind of your history behind just, I guess you grew up in Marshall, so to speak, and then you went to UL Monroe? Can you speak a little more on that, especially your roots here locally in the Arklatex?
Yes, I was born and raised in Marshall, Texas. Small town, but great town, great community. And I enjoy coming back to the Arklatex to visit every once in a while. I lived in Marshall my whole life up until I moved for college. I went to UL Monroe over in Monroe, Louisiana. While I was there, I also spent some time working at our sister station, KNOE. So that was a fun experience, not just getting to learn the meteorology, but getting to apply it, getting to apply that new knowledge that I learned every day when I went into work.
That's really cool. I'm really happy. Well, I got myself my internship back at Florida State, and it's one of the best experiences, and also helped me to realize that this is what I wanted to do actually. Um, and I'm glad to return back to Louisiana. I'm originally from New Orleans as well, so it's really cool. So yeah, moving on to the next. I guess the last thing is moving on forward for both of our two regions. We both have an active weather day coming up here for Saturday. Uh, More another system coming in here for the middle of next week. I know that's probably affecting more me than you. Even with a chance of snow, I think it's Arkansas, middle of next week too. So especially with Saturday, the first system coming in, I think we're dealing with an enhanced risk that mainly stretches for us around Natchitoches, which mainly includes your region. So are you watching out for the chance of tornadoes coming up as well?
Yes, watching it pretty closely. I will say the latest guidance, I still think we have a tornado risk, but there is a chance maybe that stays a little bit more to our north or the northern end of our area at least, which would always be good news. No tornadoes would be the best news, but definitely watching the tornado threat. I know there's also probably the potential for some significant tornadoes in there as well. And also the damaging wind threat. And it looks like for the first time in a while, at least in my area, we'll also be dealing with the threat for large hail as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, and a strong wind gust be a bigger threat as well with it moving on through. It's a system that doesn't do what this last system does, at least for us, which was just sit on top of us, giving 2 days straight of rain. So yeah, that'll be definitely intriguing moving on forward. I guess anything you're looking. Last question I have for you is anything you're looking forward to in the future. Any goals that you have for um, your area or anything else you want to say to the peeps here in the Arklatex? I mean, as you said, you mentioned you grew up in a Marshall, Texas, which is I always think pretty cool. So
Yes, we've got a lot of exciting things going on moving forward. I think pretty soon we're going to be putting together a severe weather special with severe weather season coming pretty soon. I'm so excited to work on that and excited just to see what we do moving forward. I think we have a lot of room for growth going into the spring and summer, which creates a lot of opportunities for innovation, and that could be pretty exciting. So I'm looking forward to what the future holds. And like I said, I think 2025 is going to be a great year.
that's really cool. I've been down to Alexandria once as well. I must say, pretty cool town. I didn't even know y'all had walk-ons as well. I strolled through downtown. That's a cute little quaint area, I must say. So yeah, really cool. But thanks for joining me, anyways. Again, Jake. Until next time, honestly, let's meet again soon. Do it.
Sounds good to me. Thanks for having me on.
Have a good one. Peace.
You too.
All right, appreciate Jake again for coming on for the first low of the breakdown. Yeah, see from Marshall. He's just living the dream over in Alexandria, Texas, being a or Alexandria, Louisiana. Being a meteorologist down there, so really cool for him to pop on, and I wish best of luck, and we'll definitely toss back to him sooner. One little note before I go into wrapping this up, and I see one Facebook question that I forgot to mention or forgot to answer, but with that winter storm, that historic winter storm that obviously hit most of southern Louisiana, it's just the fact that it left a little dusting in Natchitoches to about 6 to 8 inches in Alexandria's DMA, for example, like their southern parishes down towards almost Lafayette got almost 6 to 8 inches is wild. Just that wide range between that drive between Natchitoches and say Opelousas. I think that's how you pronounce it. Just the wide range between the snow totals around there was crazy. Even the fact that they got a substantial 2 to 3 inches on the ground in Alexandria, just an hour south of our DMA in Natchitoches, is quite wild. So just goes to show how thin the line sometimes can be when it comes to snow. All right, Carolyn wanted me to expand on the Texarkana rain. She said she's got to go to Texarkana Saturday, 2:30 to 4:30. Will be raining bad then. Yes, the afternoon is probably the worst time, to be quite frank with you. So it's not looking good at this point. To be fair, timing could fluctuate. It's still 2 days away. There's a point. There's a reason why weather isn't perfect science, and temperatures and timings and stuff like that can fluctuate between now and then. But we're still expecting severe storms to last up into that point at this time. Don't see any comments from YouTube. Don't see anything else from Facebook. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow, we're going to go so much more in depth also into the Saturday severe storms again. Obviously, we'll just get you the latest new information. I'm essentially just going to be going over that, and we're going to be going over regional travel forecast, which is going to be key, especially for this weekend with the severe rain around here for Saturday. So if you're traveling this weekend, be careful, especially with the severe weather again around not just here locally on Saturday, but that enhanced risk that we showed you earlier expands all the way from Natchitoches all the way over eastward to western Alabama. So those of you traveling eastward trying to go east on Saturday, watch out for that. If you're going westward, you should be fine. If you're going northward, you just need to watch out for the timing of that. If you're going eastward, I'd maybe think again, quite frankly. So, again, we'll keep you first alert. Promise here in the days ahead. We got one more First Alert with a Breakdown episode tomorrow for a weekday at Friday at 10:30. Again, thanks for joining me again today. Appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Again, tomorrow, 10:30. Be there. Be square. Most importantly, be weather aware. See you again tomorrow. Have a good one.